also makes sense because thinkers are good at articulating. You know,
Well, language supports it. Thinking has language and, to an extent, math behind it to explain it.
well,
Feels, especially FI, doesn't really have the words.
yeah, it's an experience rather than an explanation.
Certainly not math.
It's experience rather than I I've been to like some like I went to church last weekend and it was very it's very like it's a church full of people that are very like passionate about their relationship with God,
They're
and
what about it?
they're very passionate about their relationship with their God, and they're very
Are they Baptist?
huh?
Are they Baptist?
No, that's like the opposite of
Are they Baptist?
no, that's like the opposite of what I'm saying. Baptists are they're
Baptist?
they're
Baptist.
they have their program,
God damn it. Hold on, I'm gonna refresh.
but anyway, and there's this pastor that my aunt listens to, and I went back home this weekend, and he said a lot of things. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to him, and I realized that a lot of the stuff that he says is absolutely insane. If you look through like a strict scientific, I don't even want to say logical, a straight scientific, concrete manner. If you look at it like that, what he says is crazy. But if you look at it through the way that we go through life and experience things, he was quite on point. And he hit away with words where he can describe deep, like if you want to experience feelings, if you want to see FEFI, whatever you want to call it, manifest itself in a way that you can actually understand somebody's experience, listen to them talk about their experience with God. Like if you find somebody that like says they like there's a few his name's John Paul Jackson or John something. He's awesome because he explains his like experiences with God in a way that like you visualize what he's talking about, and the way that he describes it, like that people talk to God like they talk to other people, or they listen to God like they listen to people, and then you listen to how deep and colorful he explains things, such a feelings way. But it was so intense. It's like no wonder people who are feelers have such a difficult time articulating themselves because it's an experience that brings on like my aunt, for example. She's an INFP. She her understanding of things is very concrete, real, and intelligent, but it's based on the emotional response that she gets, and then she takes that emotional response and then she like visualizes things, almost like a vision or something. And it's its own weird way of developing understanding, but it's accurate to a degree. For her, for sure, it's accurate because it's what she experiences, and it allows her to understand things from a different kind of point of view that maybe won't convince the scientists, but is still something everybody can relate to. But the fact that there's not a real way to defend it since it's a subjective point of view, all of a sudden devalues it, and people are like, since there is so many woo people out there, and there's so many people that use such talk since it is so powerful, they use such talk to take advantage of others, and there's preachers that said that God told him that they need to suck his dick. These fucked up people. There's
I'll use that one.
a
Just kidding.
super real reason to be turned off by it, but I don't know. I'm listen. I'm super. This is going to be emotional, Nick, times 1,000 now. I just made up
Why?
I just made up with my aunt's husband for the fallout we had. It's like the first time I talked to him, I've been avoiding him, It was really intense, and then it's following by a really intense weekend where I hung out with my first serious girlfriend, like all weekend, and
Oh my god.
crazy shit happened with that. Crazy.
Yeah, I want to hug you.
And it's
And I want to run away.
Dude, no, seriously. Like, you look like you
I'm
need a hug, dude. Like, for real. Like, if I was there, I'd hug you. So,
thank you.
I'm feeling it.
I feel like that is a hug.
I felt like it was a hug. I appreciate that. I think I need a hug, but
Virtual hug.
particularly from a particular person or two.
I wish I could give you a hug, but like I'm all the way up here in Ohio, so come to Ohio. It's fun. We can go out. We can party.
Thank you, Claude. I get lots of hugs, but I need.
You can work at Dollar General with me, for God's sakes. You know, jeez. No, you don't want to work at Dollar General? Okay, I see how it is.
He's busy being a doctor.
Okay.
Best doctor to never graduate med school.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. I'm the best lawyer to never pass the bar.
And that's something else I'm sick of. I'm fucking sick of working so damn hard to be felt worthy of something.
Exactly. Like, I mean, yes, continue. I'm sorry.
I'm an Enneagram 3, and just like all the descriptions of, just like any model, there's no model that's correct, but they're useful, right? And Enneagram is useful. It's not correct. It's explain a lot. Like, it's not perfect, but it's useful. I don't like how, I mean, as an Enneagram 3, I think I'm equally Enneagram 3 and Enneagram 8. My brother was listening to a podcast, his podcast he likes today, and they were talking about Enneagram, and they talked about Enneagram 8 for a while, and he messaged me. He said, "You're Enneagram 8, aren't you?" I'm like, yeah, but also 3. Like, I'm pretty much dead equal. But as for an Enneagram 3, I just want to be successful so that I can justify, so my words have weight. I'm tired of being able to like see the answer to things, people's problems and shit, and not being taken seriously. And besides,
that's not something that you can achieve your way. That's just because people don't fucking listen.
And I know that, but it still drives me and compels me. But it's also because I didn't provide a sense of. I think it has a lot to do with society. Told me I was like had problems and shit. Like, I had to be mentored. Like, I remember my kindergarten teacher, not my kindergarten, my first grade teacher, having to mentor me, like tutor me outside of regular class because I didn't have right, and as quickly as everybody else. And then two like in third grade, I was fucking in a gifted and talented program for reading and writing. Like, it was, but and then I had to get on Adderall. That's what, as soon as I got on Adderall, I got in a little program that was for the top % of people who just a year before I needed tutoring to get, because I was so behind that I was going to fail. And I get on this drug that people made because I didn't participate in the thing that wasn't built for somebody to think. And ever since, not fit into, I don't do the things that you typically do or that society tells you should do, primarily because I think they're all fucking stupid, like the way that things ought to be. Fuck that. Learn what you need to learn, continue trying to learn, never take yourself too seriously, learn what society has told you to do, take what you need to take, and then say fuck the rest. Because
your ENTP is showing.
People die and people live long lives that they feel like they're supposed to live miserable. And that shit, that's the one thing I don't want to do, is miserable and not get fulfillment.
Preach.
And I think that I can do that best with a lot of money. Plus, I like being shiny. But
I do too.
more and more, it's like I've been working my ass off lately. Nothing but working very hard, a lot of shit, and it's like I haven't like I've spent so much time in here, and I've neglected myself between here and work. I haven't really met any friends since I moved here. Got one friend, but he's not even really a friend. He's somebody I took advantage of because he's popular and is a bouncer at one of the most popular bars in town, and I can go sit next to him and act like I work there to meet people, but drunk people. Who were, it's like
Drunk people are people Tuesday.
And then I see my aunt and her husband. They're miserable together, yet they're not doing anything about it. They should not be married. I told them both why they should not be married. They both should be married. I did my thing where I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to fix this situation. I feel compelled to, so I'm going to break it even worse, and then we'll see what happens. It's working so far, but it's like, I went out with my I'm gonna call my uncle because he got really mad. One of the things that I said to Steve was, "You don't fuck with family, Steve." But he got really hurt by that because he's my family. Is that? I was such a dick last weekend or whatever it was, weekend before. Like, it's another reason why I'm so moist. And I don't know what I was gonna say. I've had a lot going on.
Nick, you come.
My ex, the woman who left me for what I've determined is somebody with Asperger's, good-looking guy who's like steady job. He's a specialist now. He moved away, and she like couldn't keep her hands off me this last week, and I found out that she had a miscarriage. So last girl I was with for some years, she got date raped, and the one I was with before that for 5 years, she had a miscarriage, and then they're both like, "Nah, you were better than we thought, Nick." And now they're both giving me like attention that I didn't get before and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck? And then I'm doing really bad at dating right now because I haven't been participating in it. I forget how that whole thing goes, where you're supposed to start off slow and you're supposed to just be serious.
It's a lot of bullshit. Like, I mean, dating in 2017 is nothing but pure bullshit. I am not even trying anymore at this point. It's like, if the universe or God wants me to do something, it's gonna happen. But I'm done. I'm done. I mean it this time. Okay, I need to calm myself and not go on my "I'm done" rant. I do it every year. Well, every week. I go, like, I don't know if you can relate to that or not, where you're just like, you know what, I'm just done. And then just when you say that, like, something comes along and you're just like, damn.
I know that. I know that way of thinking, and I've acted that before, but that's not really been the case. But it's just because I'm ignoring what's really happening. And what's really happening is I'm not putting effort into it because I've had a lot of experiences in relationships, and I've been, I think, lucky or blessed. I choose to say blessed. Lucky for people that don't like that word. That I like the chase, and I like getting the girl that nobody else can do. And that's probably an ego thing. I know it is, actually. Besides the fact that it means that if everybody is wanting this person and they're not able to get them, and that phrasing, inferring ownership, ignore that. Ignore that part. But that means that there's probably a reason for it. And I don't know. I'm not going to be with somebody who's really desperate or wanting to be with somebody or that has a hard time in relationships. I want to be with the person that has to turn people down every night. Because that's just, there's lots of reasons. But in order to do that, I have to be I have to be in the mindset. And I've not been in the mindset, and I've been casually attempting for short bursts to make something happen, and then I won't take it seriously. I'm not thinking about it, and I'll do stupid shit left and right. And then a lot of times we'll do stupid shit on purpose. And then for some reason, I'll tell people, like, look at this stupid shit I did. I don't know why, but the point is I started lying. Like, I started doing that same thing, Chloe, where I was saying, it's just, I created arguments for why dating sucks. But really, if I'm honest with myself, I know that I'm good looking. I know that I have a lot to offer a girl, and I know that I'm incredibly good at sex, and I know that I can, if I'm aware of these things and I'm serious about wanting to find somebody, that it'll happen. But
Mm-hmm.
and that it needs to happen several times until I find somebody that's like, and then somebody that's awesome, but can also appreciate the things that I value about myself, and that I value things that people haven't valued about them.
Yeah.
And that's tricky.
It really is, because sometimes a lot of people want to change you, or a lot of people assert their own views on you, and you just want to, maintain your views. So sometimes it can be challenging because there's that kind of influence.
Be with a girl that I can celebrate their very essence.
Yeah.
I can celebrate the things that those people have said about them, and I'll be the one that tells them to fuck off, so they don't have to worry. They feel that they finally have met somebody who appreciates the things that they knew should be appreciated, but they hadn't been because people want to put their own spin on things, like you said.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where magic happens. And then to play indefinitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But people are sticking to the script these days. People go online to learn how to talk to people of the opposite sex. Especially, that's insane. Like Ace, I know where he's, like, I feel where he's coming from, and I'm empathetic to him, but I will never listen to that guy's rundown of all the self-help dating books he's read, his tactics, because and it's bad for him too. It's not good for him, because in my opinion, especially if he's an ENTP, you want someone that's not going to work on.
Mm-hmm. I think there's something in him that I really need to watch what I say here, because I don't want something bad to come from it. But I think to some extent, he, like a lot of people in this group, feels like he has to play a role of some sort.
Ace, to me, is someone whom I like, but represents the kind of false confidence and pseudo alpha maleism that I am at war against.
I thought I was the only one who felt that way, actually. So, but I don't want. I
But
don't
it's
think
not
it's a bad
his
thing.
Listen, if he showed his true self, which is a much more vulnerable person who started getting into this stuff because he was hurt about a girl and had low self-confidence, if he would have been like, you know what, fuck her. She didn't know what she was talking about. Most of the time, when people's perception of you explain much more about them than you.
Mm-hmm.
if he would understand that, and if he would have somebody in his corner saying all the reason why he's awesome, he does not need to read some book about how to fucking act.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not have to have some theory that supports why men are superior to women, which is silly, absolutely fucking silly.
Has he said that?
Insane. Yeah, he said it without. He tiptoed. I mean, he's like he's well versed in this thing called the red pill theory. That
Oh my god.
men are, but I get. Okay, so
that explains it.
But that is in response. He's not. I don't fault Ace. I don't think he's. I do shit just as wrong as this. But and the reason that this thing bears weight with men my age is that women are being influenced by something else, kind of like similar here. Like it's the internet. The internet shits on relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
It takes it.
Social media kills relationships. Absolutely.
Murderous.
Mm-hmm.
Murderous.
Yeah.
And you
especially with Tinder too.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about, it's all marketing, all the best version of idealism that you could think of being smacked in your face every day, and people's images that have been people that look unnaturally pretty, as we've come to understand pretty. Like, I like a thicker girl. like the girls, every girl I've been with thinks they need to change something about themselves that I think is absolutely insane. Like the image that girls they need to be today is fucking nuts. I hate makeup, for example. I think it's silly. It's what clowns you. Jewel, you're beautiful, but I bet you'd be even prettier without it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, some people like putting on makeup because sometimes there's, like, I don't know, it's like they're changing who they are. And so sometimes people feel this kind of empowerment.
No, they don't need to.
But I know they don't need to, but there are certain ways of changing yourself that feel empowering in a different way. And
I understand. And I don't wish that makeup would go away or anything like that. It's the idea behind it. It represents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it is true that the world treats you differently if you look a certain way.
It is
true,
because everybody needs to do a little bit more introspecting and realize but it's not anybody's fault, because men doing this thing where they're playing tricks in order to get women because they're trying to fill some void. And then, and then women being jaded against those men who are doing those tricks and think it's disgusting, but yet haven't really met someone who's actually confident, because to be actually confident is dangerous today. You're called a psychopath, a sociopath, that you're narcissistic, that you're not very blah, blah, blah. You say things that are off-putting. Well, fuck you. I love you, but fuck you.
Well, I think it depends as to how you interpret confidence, because there are so many ways you could interpret it. And there are so many...
It's embracing who you are and knowing that who you are is who you need to be. And knowing who that is.
Yeah. I think that's a good definition, but I think...
That's why
I don't know.
Myself differently, because people are different.
I think that still is so loose that somebody could twist it around and think that means taking who you are and forcing it onto somebody. And they could argue. Like, I actually got into this argument with a guy because I gave him criticism and he couldn't take it. He was like, I can't get women. And it's like, well, you need to work on being confident, dude. And he's like, oh, you don't think I'm confident, eh? And he just challenged me so much. And it's just like, why do you feel the need to do this? And it's like, because I'm standing up for my pride. It's like, no, you're standing up for your ego. And if I'm just a random stranger on the internet. And then he's like, oh, well, if you think you're so confident about, what I need to work on, let's see how you do with like another person. Then he drew another person in. And it's like, I'm sorry. That just shows me that you're an insecure person. That screams insecurity to me when you pull that shit.
Because people have a certain flavor of people they're going to attract, and a certain flavor of people that they're going to be unattractive to. You know, and when you encounter somebody, if you're not fully developed and you're confident in who you are, yet it's been not well received by somebody who just simply doesn't like who you are, and you put too much weight into that, or people they're like, you're different, and I think I know you even though I haven't got a chance to know you. That thing, then it destroys their confidence, and then they have this little identity crisis, and then it's when everybody you meet, you know that confidence that men have, that also, it's like the fake confidence that seems to be all the same flavor. It's guys, same thing, positioning themselves the same way, doing all this shit, and it's just the same. That is why that's when you know it's not true. It's real. Because they're not confident in themselves, because themselves are the same as everybody else. There's no way they're the same as everybody else. That means they're confident. They're trying to be, they've put a lot of effort in being confident in this thing that they think they ought to be.
Yeah. And I think that there's a huge difference between like actual confidence and posturing. And a woman can tell that immediately. Like, even when when other men try to pull tricks on me, or when like they try to posture with me, it's like the entirety of the interaction feels inauthentic to me. And most women, for the most part, probably feel that way because they can sense it. They can sense it when a man is being inauthentic to them. And so it's just a kind of this gut feeling. And I don't care if you're a sensor or an intuitive or whatever the fuck. If you're a female, you probably have experienced that before, where people are posturing, and it's just, I can't stand it. It's bullshit.
Everybody.
Yeah, but it's normal.
I want to hear Jules, Susanna, I know y'all have something to say.
Well, about the whole posturing thing, I think whether people mean to or not, when they're new to somebody, they kind of like embody this persona that isn't necessarily them. It's just, I don't know, an innate, it's just the reaction you have, regardless of how much you don't want it to happen. So like, I just anticipate that with people, and I know that, I don't know, I give people a little leg room with that, and know that like that, the way they are initially isn't usually going to be the same way they are like as time goes on.
True, but I think it depends, like the amount of posturing, I guess, then is what I mean, because I don't know, there just comes a certain level where it's beyond, like I could understand, somebody putting up a persona to defend themselves because they want to defend themselves, because you got to protect yourself, because you never know what the other person is like, and so you have to do that over time. But I think to some extent, like there comes a point where people put out too much bravado, and that just is an immediate turn off for me, because I can see past that. It's like, when somebody's trying to have all that bravado or be something they're not, it's like, I don't know, it just upsets me because it's very inauthentic.
It's nothing to be bothered by. It's just instant loss of interest. Leave it at there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it plenty of times.
I guess the thing is that it kind of makes me feel sick inside when somebody does that, though. It's a very strong feeling, but yeah.
Well, I have obviously been looked down for many years now, but that doesn't stop men from trying, and a lot of times they do the thing where they try to impress me with something, and they take like a little piece of information I give them, and they try to go places with that to try connect or something. And maybe it's me, because they don't read me at all. So it just turns out very badly for them. And what usually happens is that I listen to them and I deconstruct what they said, and we're done talking.
That's so you, actually. Yeah, that's so funny. I enjoyed that.
I like that. That's very logical and very clean. That's the thing that I can appreciate about INTPs is that when you listen to them talk, they have a clean kind of logic. It's hard to explain, but yeah. It's like water, kind of. It's like refreshingly logical.
Yeah, and off-putting to the wrong guys.
What's off-putting to a lot of girls is, you know how everybody's seen me give a lot of people a lot of compliments, right?
Yeah.
You have no idea the amount of compliments I give to myself.
You
It's
did that one night. You came on here.
It's insane. I can't vocalize it. Maybe I'm a narcissist. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Or maybe
Even you don't have full narcissistic personality disorder. I would be able to tell in your eyes. Your eyes are not dead.
no,
okay,
what you're doing.
I mean, I relate most
Yeah.
people.
You're a salesperson, right?
And I can't necessarily go say that.
Nick, the thing you're doing, you're a salesperson, right? So you know it. You're internalizing it for your own benefit.
Or I'm a
You-
salesperson because
No, but you know how that works, right? Like association
I mean,
with
but here's-
words.
like because of that, like when I try and express a high view of myself, I don't do it well because I'm super like it's fake. Because if I said what I really thought, I don't want to.
No, why do you say anything at all?
I don't know.
I think maybe it's because you want to.
Self-grandizing. I mean, I value myself a lot, so like
There's nothing wrong with that.
I want to be. There's a part of me that wants to be. I want attention for my awesomeness. I want maybe even praise for my awesomeness that I know that I have that is unique to me and I think is super badass and super awesome.
Yeah.
So
I think we all want that to a
Like-
certain extent. Who doesn't want that? I mean, we
But-
can speak that out.
Oh.
that's why I hate when people are like, Nick, like I hate that me giving compliments off-putting because
Can't hear you
just
guys.
like I think my shit be like people say a lot of bad things about people, but if you say the bad, say the good too. Yeah, when I give people compliments or whatnot, it's off-putting, not normal. Well, fuck that. Like if you don't think the people that you're hanging out with and spending time with and time is very important. If you're spending time getting to know people that you don't have 1,000 amazing things to say about, then what the fuck are you doing? But we act like we don't. Dumb. It's fucking dumb. Because we all want, and it's not inaccurate, and it's so easy for us to say bad things about people, but it's so difficult to say good.
But who's giving you a hard time for complimenting people?
I mean, it's not that it's a hard time. It's just the fact that it's a thing. It's the fact that it's a thing that people even mention it. That it's something that I do. That means it's something that other people don't do since it's not status quo normal.
Mm.
You know? I mean, you know I do this, Jewel. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
There's not a person in here I haven't.
I guess the question I have for you is, do you feel like you are entitled to have certain admiration by other people?
No.
Okay.
That is my short answer.
Oh, yeah, I'd like the long answer. Or maybe this is just my me getting curious. And I need to actually use Effie and think about this for a moment.
I mean, I'm okay with answering. It can be. It's there's layers. I think if somebody gets to know me and sees how, because here's the thing, the reason I think I'm so awesome is that a lot of the things I do, like behind closed doors, is just like consistently about being a good person, good guy, who is strong for other people when they're weak and kind of neglects his own shit because I can handle it. I'm not afraid of nearly anything. Like nothing I'm afraid of. I know I can figure out almost any problem I have because apparently I'm smart or something. I don't know. I don't necessarily like, I don't think of myself as smart, but I
I
never.
don't think that either. Like, I don't think that's it.
What?
It was a joke.
Oh.
You said, I don't think it's because I'm
Yeah,
smart. And I said, I don't think so either. I don't think that's what it is either. Yeah, there we go.
Ha ha ha.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, it's like, I don't think I'm, people owe that to me. That if people knew who I was, that they would reach the same conclusion, or I'd like their feedback on how to improve. And I think I see a lot more good in people than other people do in themselves. I repeatedly find myself talking to people about their character and about things that I see valuable in them that they kind of neglect. They're gifts. People have gifts. Like Chloe, you can talk about difficult things to talk about. You can articulate emotional states and perception and your interpretation of feelings very, very well. Very, very. And Susanna, you can say a lot in a little.
But I wasn't listening. Is it compliment round?
I mean, it's not that I expect it. It's just that I noticed it in not only myself, but other people too. And that's one of the things I like so much about me. Yes. But I don't know how this came here. I'm not going to tell. I'm stopping the concert at this point. This will get, yeah. I hope everybody has a lot of reasons to think they're like, King Kong. And that's another thing about this place. The only reason why, like, especially when it deals with conflicts with other men, which just like women deal with conflicts with other women, the only reason why I'm so certain of myself is all the experiences I have to point me to that. Like, whoa, you know, this was like a thing that's not normal. This is easy. Or you mean this person is scared right now? Or you mean this person really doesn't know how to fix this problem and they're making a big deal out of it and really it's affecting their lives and whatnot? You mean these people won't do this just to get what they want? These people won't ask somebody to get what they want? It's just repeated experiences showing me like these things. It's informed through experience, not through idealization. But that's one thing this room is potentially. There's one thing that's potentially bad about this room is not being able to experience. You gotta prove yourself. I think a lot of people get married too early before they've proven themselves themselves too. Like most.
Maybe.
I've been thrown in the middle of a lot of bad marriages lately.
So, how would you say that your previous relationships ended, and why would you say they ended the way they did, if I may ask? If that's too personal, then we can change the topic. But
know. I don't know that there's much to
Well, I guess the question that I'm trying to ask is, instead of asking that, how would you describe your exes now?
Oh, they're both wonderful people.
Oh.
I mean, they've shaped the thing. A lot of the things I like about myself in regards to women, in particularly, they helped with. And especially the one that I saw this past weekend, who just added me on Snapchat today, which is like, oh,
Yeah.
We were talking. I don't know. It's a married woman that is making clear attempts for something to happen, and she's my sister's maid of honor. But I went through. She was like when we were dating, in one regard, and in another regard, I figured out what it got good at. I like a lot of things that I've come to like about myself were large part because of her. My ability to feel deeply is because I was so hurt when I experienced such pain with her that I can now have it gave me empathy. You know, I care for people because I've in a terrible place because of that. And you know, she was anytime that we were at a party, he was like my cheerleader. He was going around people how awesome I was. Badass, but I beat the fuck out of the person that tried to like mess with her. And that he was like twice as big as me. And then the other time where I fought 3 people and then she talked about me like I was fucking Zeus. I like that shit. But she still laughed. It's like I worked on myself a lot. And in the next one, there's so much to say. I mean, that's such a deep topic. But I'd say it's more the bad side of thinking highly about yourself. That I always felt like I could do better. Now I thought I was better than them. I don't think that at all. And I also, I mean, if I had a Yelp thingy of my, I think they both give me good reviews. That's nice. That helps. I also think that they both learned a lot from me, but they also had an issue with my negative 3.3% SI, according to the function tests. I'm messy. I don't pick up after myself. I'm constantly late to things. I neglect a lot of things I shouldn't neglect. I'm difficult in that regard. And I think they had to put up with a lot. And the fact that they did, and they thought so highly of me, and that both of them have like come on to me recently, is it means a lot to me, because even though I think so highly of myself, I think highly enough of them to where it's like still, whoa. I mean, they're both beautiful, they're both brilliant, and they both are. Anybody who's with them is lucky. One sucks though, but he's very willing to kind of like suffer through some stuff.
Yeah, but like, just I don't know. I guess if I could give you any advice, it's don't mess with married people because you don't want to get shot.
You don't want to what?
You don't want to get shot. Like, I mean, I don't know. I have this constant fear of if I ever see. This is why I am so hands off with married people. It's like, don't even flirt with me, or don't even act like you're going to flirt with me, or in a way that could be perceived as flirting. Because if your spouse finds out, then I've dealt with crazy girlfriends. I can only imagine what a crazy wife would be like. I just know. I can't deal with that. And so, based on the amount of crazy I've had to deal with, that's my advice for you.
Well, that is good advice, and I agree. And it's more my own moral stuff. Like, I want to be. I'm very much for the whole idea of do unto others as you'd have done to you. But I don't. As terrible as this sounds, like, this is why it's also like I don't know if I have any love left to give, because I'm still very much in love with both these girls. I just got tired of them.
Yeah.
Nick,
Did
you're
you
saying like so many annoying, frustrating things tonight, and I don't know if I'm just in a bad mood or you're just irritating me. I don't know what it is, but you're like pissing me off with what you're saying, like over and over. I don't know what it is.
You're an ISFJ getting need and feed. No, lead with FE, so that doesn't make sense. I think it's.
I'm not being very FE tonight.
What?
I'm not being very FE tonight at all.
Well, I don't know. It's not that. I don't. It's just.
Well, I was replying to what Chloe said.
I can't. It's hard to hear you. I'm sorry. What?
Scold me.
No. I don't even know where to start because you've been talking so much. It's like I'm trying to remember, like go back and remember a lot of the things.
Well, Nick, going back to what we were talking about, I have assessed you to the best of my extent, to the best of my knowledge, and based on my analysis, you are not a narcissist. So I think you can have narcissistic tendencies where sometimes you can be a little self-focused, but I think we all have different tendencies. It's how you act, and that's kind of what tells the tale. So, I mean, I probably would have to, if I was considering a relationship or anything with you, I'd probably have to assess you further, but seeing that that's not the case.
I appreciate that. I could be a manipulative narcissist.
You could be very manipulative.
Or what?
Huh?
You could be what? A what? I don't know why I can't hear you.
I'm going to get my computer.
Oh.
Well, ENTPs are naturally manipulative. So,
Is it better?
Yeah, kind of.
There's like something, I think it sounds like there's somebody who's trying to talk or something, or somebody who's making noise.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to try muting a few people and see what happens.
What are you talking about, Chloe?
Just, someone's making a lot of noise and it's...
It's Nick.
Oh, okay. What about me? Wait, you're... Crap, I forgot your name. Lady with the shirt. Yes.
Pretty one.
Jewel.
Jewel, okay.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about me? I mean, I feel like we discussed this earlier, I think, about like how any DOMs come across to ISFJs and how there's something that pisses him off for some reason, and I'm wondering if I've
I don't normally I get along really well. I just it's so weird because I feel like I haven't like processed what exactly is like what I'm feeling, so it's like hard to verbalize it. But I think like when you and I were talking about it, it was more a thing of like authenticity that I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. It's just I haven't processed it yet. What is it?
Okay.
But I have no problem. I mean, like I've enjoyed my conversations with you, Chloe. Like in here.
I've enjoyed my conversations with you too.
Yeah.
I'd say that I can. Would you like me to give you an honest assessment?
Of me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, sure. Go
I'm
for
not
it.
going to try to hurt you. So let me start by saying that as an ENFP, my goal is never to really hurt you. It's
Oh, so it's gonna be bad. Okay. Sure.
Well, I guess I kind of like when I'm talking to you now, it's just like I sense something about you. Like maybe it's like SI or something, and it's like there's something that I'm not trying. This is like my perspective. So I don't necessarily think it's a reflection of you, but
Sure.
I think that my perspective is I sense that there's something really like there's like a judging function that you use. And for me, it's like I want to just rebel against it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like there's something like I don't even know what I'm saying, but it's just kind of like there's an underlying judgmental function, and I think that I think that you're open-minded for someone who has that, because in the past I've dealt with people who've had that judging function, and it was kind of challenging for me. But you're very nice as a person, so.
So you feel like I judge you, or do you feel personally judged, or you just feel like I judge others and you pick up on that energy, or what?
I kind of pick up on a judgmental energy, yeah. And I think that, like, if we were talking about social issues, for example, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, and this is my personal feeling, so you're free to challenge this to whatever degree you want. But I feel like if we were talking about a personal issue, like I feel like you would like come to a really judgmental conclusion or something, and maybe because I have like an FI, like I would feel morally obliged to show all the other sides, and I think that could lead to a challenge in communication, because I would try to show you all the other sides. But I think that to some extent that would be a difficult argument. But I don't even know why I'm imagining this now. I mean, it's kind of silly, but it's just kind of an intuitive thing that I kind of just picked up on. But I don't even know why. I don't think it's relevant, but I don't know what to make of it. But
yeah,
I guess it's just that you have something that's different than what I'm used to. So it's like, it's something that like I want to understand. I don't want to just feel a feeling about it. I want to look at it objectively. And maybe learn with you about what it is.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to process what exactly it is that you would be like. Because I feel on one hand, I feel I'm pretty open-minded. And so I'm trying to figure out what, if I am sending that out, like what would be, because I don't even know that I wouldn't feel like bad about it or anything. Maybe it's just, yeah. FE judgments, someone said in the chat. I don't know, the blankie. I don't know. Is that what
Maybe
it is?
that's it.
Judgments?
That could very well be it.
I don't know.
Because I don't even know why I'm picking up that vibe, but it's just
No, but Chloe, you asked me the other day like how you can get along with people in the group or something,
yeah.
and like, are you sure you're not being a little bit paranoid? Because I don't know, Jewel, if you can confirm any of it or if it's nothing from your side.
Mm-hmm. No, the only thing I can think of right now is that possibly because I was kind of like said what I said to Nick, maybe you and Nick were like vibing in that conversation and I came in like, Nick, you're kind of like irritating me. And maybe you saw that as me judging Nick, which really like, I've had a lot of conversations with Nick and I feel like I don't think I like hurt him in saying that. Like I don't think he would take that as like I was being like really mean to him or anything. So was that what you picked up on and thought that maybe like me coming in with that was like judging what he was going through and saying and stuff like that?
I think you just hit it on the head, but it was all a subconscious process, and I don't think I was fully aware of why I came to that conclusion. So
yeah. No, I get it. I get it, and totally. Listen, Chloe, like I could be in a bad mood sometimes, and like say stuff too that's like, you know, maybe not the nicest or whatever. I don't do it very often, but I do it sometimes. So if that's what you were picking up on, you know, I see where you would get that.
Yeah, but that's so minor, and it's just like I don't even know why I felt like it was an issue to even address. So
it's okay.
Weird.
It's all right. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I appreciate it. At least you're like honest with me about it, and we talk about it, and then it's better. I don't know if it's
yeah.
So yeah, no, I appreciate the honesty though. So that's good.
And I appreciate the honesty on your end too. So I think that's cool. And I like that we diplomatically handled this. So yay. Going back to what Sue said, yeah, I think to some extent, sometimes I can be kind of paranoid about things. So sometimes I have to question the validity of my own conclusions.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But you know, on here, that's completely fine. You can just ask people. But I'm worried you have an idea that's not necessarily reality.
Oh,
okay.
That
wouldn't be good for you.
Well, I guess the thing is that I think the thing that I was thinking of earlier was that a lot of the people are FE users, and so they have that kind of mastery that I feel inept in. So when I see that, it's kind of like perhaps I'm projecting my own feelings, and perhaps I was projecting my own feelings when I was saying that. So, I think I just fixed my own problem.
How?
Well, by talking about it that way. Because I think I just realized that it wasn't really a realistic thing. It was something that I was projecting, and it wasn't a realistic thing at all.
And you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. You can just talk about whatever, and it will be fine.
Okay. Thank you, Sue.
Fourth slot FE to the rescue.
Okay, so what just happened?
Basically, Chloe and I got into it. Like, we were going at each other, and she was like slinging them, and I was coming back at her. It was a total
ratchet.
I will tell you, if Jewel seems judgmental while talking to me, it's because she knows I'm not being very. Jewel knows me probably better than anybody else in here does. I feel like, and She knows that I'm being extra ornery and ridiculous.
You're being extra tonight.
It is bothering her, and she's judging me for it, which is one of the reasons I like her so much. Is that